Hey, this is Ryan from Web Eminence. It seems like we're on track for traditional phone calls to go away entirely, making way for Skype, FaceTime, and other newer forms of communication. But until then, it's still vital to track phone calls since it's one of the main positive actions that visitors take on your website. CallRail is a call tracking tool that allows website owners to track the phone calls that come in from different sources in their online and offline marketing. In this video, I'll show you all the features of CallRail with a focus on tracking phone calls from Google AdWords, since that's the main way that I use it. So this is the CallRail interface, nice and clean and easy to use and navigate. So you're basically going to use these 4 items at the top to navigate through your account. I won't spend too much time on the first 2. They're activity and reports. These are basically going to show you all the activity that's going on in the account. I don't have a lot of activity in this account, so there's not a whole lot to show you. But under the activity tab, you'll see the call log. So these are just, this is a graph of the calls coming in. And then there's a list of the calls coming in. And then you can click on unique callers. You can look at voicemail. You can export your calls. And also look at text conversations and form submissions. If you click on reports, you can then get a visual view of the activity in your account. And you can look at call attribution, text attribution, same with forms. There's a lead funnel that uses call scoring to help you understand which calls are leading to positive actions within your business. And then there's also some other metrics within the reporting that I won't go over in this video. There's also a lead center that is kind of like a CRM for you to kind of manage the leads that come through your CallRail tracking numbers. So all of the reporting under activity and reports is super helpful once you get all the data and activity flowing. But first you need to set up the account. So I really want to focus on the next 2 sections of CallRail Dashboard in this video, just to kind of help you understand how it works and how you're going to set it up. So CallRail uses tracking numbers that they assign to you in order to track the different marketing activities that you're doing online and offline. So the best way to show you this is to just add a phone number under the Numbers tab in the CallRail Dashboard. And they give you this nice kind of wizard walkthrough process on creating a phone number. So you can set up a number to use online or offline. So offline might be on a postcard, TV ad, billboards. You can just place a static number in one of those locations so that you can count the number of calls coming from that marketing. Since I'm focusing on using CallRail for AdWords, I'm going to say yes, I'll use it online. So the next question is asking you where you're going to display your phone number, and you can either say yes on my website or no somewhere else. So somewhere else might be as a call extension in a pay-per-click ad or maybe in an email signature. But for this video, I'm going to show you how to display it on your website. The next question is asking you, do you want to track each visitor? So you can use pools of numbers to track a lot of concurrent phone calls. So if you have a lot of traffic and a lot of phone calls happening, this is something you might want to do. But for now, and for starting off, you can probably use this option, and then you can always upgrade later to pools of phone numbers to get more data. So the next step is giving this number a name. I'm just going to call it AdWords 2 since I already have an AdWords number, and just add a fake destination number. The next step is adding a tracking source. So you can choose from these different preset sources. So this is basically assigning a source for the website visitors that are going to be assigned to this tracking phone number. So in my case, I'm setting it up for Google AdWords. So I'm just going to select search and say Google paid. There's other options here like Yahoo, or you can do Google organic or all, but I'm going to do paid here. Just to show you the other options, you can do track web referrals, website visitors from a specific site like Yelp.com. You can track visitors who land on a specific landing page on your site, and then you can use specific parameters for that. You can also track visitors who land on your site directly without coming from another website. And then this last option will show your tracking number regardless of where visitors are coming from, but if they're on your website, they'll see the tracking number. So I'm going to click the next step, which is selecting a phone number. I can choose a toll-free number. I can search for non-local numbers in the same area code or in a different area code. Since I'm using a sample phone number, it's not going to work here. So I'm going to just change the phone number. And then they give you a few numbers to choose from. So I'm going to pick one and then go to the next section, which is assigning a whisper message. So you can, when you receive a call through this call tracking number, you can actually get what's called a whisper message, and this will basically announce where the call is coming from. So if you have different numbers set up, maybe one for Google, one for Facebook, it will actually alert you where the call is coming from. It'll say call from AdWords or call from Facebook. So this is obviously useful if you have a bunch of agents answering calls and they need to know where the call is coming from in order to deal with the call more effectively. You can also record calls, and if you do, it'll play a short message saying this call will be recorded for quality assurance. And they have this important note here about different laws apply to call recording, so you definitely want to check on the laws in your state, country, wherever you are, to see if you're allowed to record calls and what you need to do in order to do it lawfully. So the next step is activating the tracking number. I'm not going to do that since I'm just doing this as a test, but I will click on this number here just to show you what a number looks like once it's set up. Most of it is the same settings I already set up, but there's a few other things here like call flow. Here you see it says switch to a custom call flow. You can actually set up some advanced features like call routing. You can have an interactive menu like press 1 for sales, press 2 for service. You can set up scheduling so that calls go to specific numbers at certain times of the day or days of the week. Up above here you can actually record a greeting that goes out to all callers before the call is answered. And this next section has to do with dynamic number insertion. So the way that this call tracking works is when someone lands from the source that you choose, in this case Google paid search or Google AdWords, it's actually going to swap a target number on my website with the tracking number. So I have this swap target listed here. So on the website I'm using this tracking number with, whenever this number appears on the website, it's actually going to swap out that number and display the tracking number so that the call can be tracked. And all other website visitors will just see your normal phone number and it won't be tracked unless they fall into one of these other categories where you may be using a different tracking number. So in order for the dynamic number insertion to work, you do need to add some code to your website, and I'll show you that in a minute. So one great feature of CallRail is it does have text messaging ability on the tracking numbers that you use. So if you place a number on your website using the dynamic number insertion, or even if you're using a static number for offline advertising, you can make it textable so that people can text it and you'll receive the message in your CallRail account, and you can also get the message in CallRail mobile app and respond to it through the mobile app. And those text messages will obviously be counted as calls, in this case text messages, and they'll show up in the stats that I showed you at the beginning of the video. So there's some other options here. Whisper message I already mentioned. There's some caller ID options. Here's another opportunity to give the campaign a name, which shows up in reports. And then there's some options for integration with Google Analytics. So speaking of integrations, that is the last page at the top. Go to, actually it's called settings, but that's where integrations is located. So here's dynamic number insertion. So if you click on that, they basically give you some instructions and the code that is required to go on your website in order for the call swapping to work. If we go back to integrations, I'll just show you some of the other integrations that exist here. Google AdWords obviously is a popular one. So this is a direct integration with Google AdWords that's going to set up a conversion action in your AdWords account to count the calls. That way, if you're doing advertising, you have CallRail set up, you can count the calls that are resulting from your AdWords advertising. There's also a Google AdWords mobile click to call, which is a separate integration to allow you to count the calls that come direct from your ad using mobile click to call or the call extension. Bing Ads would be a popular integration. There's a Salesforce integration, Facebook, and then Google Analytics is going to allow you to send event data to Google Analytics. And there's a number of other integrations, as you can see here. So real quick, I'll go through some of the other settings available on this page that are pretty important to understand kind of the power of call tracking using CallRail. There's something called Call Score, which allows you to score your calls and classify them. This is going to help you further understand which calls, which types of marketing are generating, the best results for your business. Call Scribe is a transcription feature that allows you to see the calls in writing. Keyword spotting can be a powerful feature for a lot of people who are looking for specific things that are mentioned in a phone call. So maybe there's certain products you're selling. So you can actually set this down here so that if any one of the speakers, or if the agent or the customer says any or all of a certain number of words like appointment, sale, or credit card, you can actually set a specific action like applying a value, which I guess is a dollar value here. You can also score the call or tag the call. So if you have a large volume of calls, this might be a great way to kind of filter calls to look for the most valuable ones for your business. Under notifications, you can set up alerts to occur on your desktop or even on the mobile app when certain things occur. Summaries allows you to send out a summary email to kind of break down call statistics. You can block callers. Here's the call tags that I mentioned. You can also track forms on your website through CallRail. Here's keypad scoring. This allows an agent to score a call just by pressing a few numbers when the call ends. And then there's a few other things here, outbound caller IDs and quick text, which is just a kind of a template way of sending out text responses if you're using a textable phone number. So from that quick overview, you can probably understand the power of call tracking and using a platform like CallRail, but you're probably also curious what it costs. You can get pricing at callrail.com. Just to give you a basic idea, it starts at $30 per month. There's a 14-day free trial currently, and for that you get 10 local numbers, 500 minutes, 100 text messages. You get pretty much all the features, all the features that I showed in this video. And then if you go over the included usage, here are the overage charges that occur. $3 to add a local phone number, 5 cents local minutes, 1.6 cents per text message, and some of the other prices you can see here. Those probably will change in the future. You can upgrade to a pro account, which includes all the same features, but some other features that are great for agencies who are going to resell these features. And then you get more included usage on the pro account. So if this sounds interesting to you, but you don't really want to spend $30 a month, or you're just a little bit intimidated by the setup of it, you can contact me. Find my link below this video. I am a CallRail agency, so I can set you up on a plan. If you just need one phone number, for example, or you want help setting up and managing CallRail, get in touch with me and I can give you a price to set it up and manage it for you. If you are using AdWords and are interested in the different options for tracking phone calls through your Google AdWords advertising, there is a built-in feature in AdWords that I cover in another video, so I'll link to that video at the end of this one. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any of my other videos, and we'll see you on the next one.